time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure, so let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Spot Shooters Archery,
Easy Cut,
Packer Max,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Scent Lock,
Scent Blocker,
Lim Walker Game Calls,
Buck Baits,
Gut Check,
Stanislavski Release Aids,
Copper John,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Vapor Hunting Products,
and Rebel 6 Rubs. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with Dan Jasa, the third day of Michigan's firearm deer season. So what's going on, man?
We're back.
We are back. But before we get started, we got to take care of business. As always, you got your Hunter's Blend coffee. That's what we're drinking tonight in the cabin.
Go over to huntersblend.com. On checkout, use the promo code, which you see right there, or if you're on the podcast, capital UNJ, you'll get 10% when you check out. Absolutely. But don't stop there. Why don't you head over and help us out and go over to Buck Baits if you want to get 20% of your order. I know the rut is on. If you use the promo code Up North Journal, you'll get 20% off there at buckbaits.com.
But that's not all.
No. After you have your venison, you need to go over to Rebel 6 Rubs. I see Mr. Harold did get a buck.
Nice one.
And for him helping us out and us helping him out, you can get 20% off your order upon checkout if you use the code North Journal.
There you go.
So, yep.
Well, you just want to jump into it tonight?
Well, without further ado, we have to. We can't let him sit out there in Ohio forever.
What's going on, Mr. Jasa?
How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Just kind of getting back in the cabin after a couple of weeks of bitty-bopping back and forth here. Danny got back from the UP, and I got back from my camp in the northern lower. Spent a couple of days up there. How about yourself? Are you getting in the woods yet?
I've been out 4 times. Don't tell Pete. Yeah, I've seen a couple shooter bucks. Nothing that's been close enough to shoot at. One night was pretty slow and didn't see anything, but otherwise I've seen deer every sit, so it's been fun. Hunting some new places I've never been to before. A couple pieces of public that have kind of been using Onyx maps and figuring out a way in and walking in and putting up a stand and hunting. So it's been kind of fun.
Really? Using Onyx to get yourself in. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about that. I've used it a little bit in the past. How does that work out for you? I mean, is it do the job?
I mean, it's nice because it shows the public and private boundaries, and you can kind of see where you can get in and out without crossing over private or anything like that. And then the nice thing is you can use like the topography to figure out, okay, where's the actual hills and stuff roll, so I can kind of pick a spot and figure out how I'm going to get there. So it works pretty good for finding some public places to go. So
good deal. Well, we're in the middle of hunting season, and we got you on tonight. Archery season here in Michigan picks back up, I think, December 1st.
Yep.
We've pretty much did all of our archery hunting, but back in October, you guys released your new line of 2020 hunting bows. So we want to talk a little bit about them tonight. If that's okay with you, you think we can handle that?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we missed each other a few times trying to get on and talk about these bows, so it was nice to be able to get on tonight and talk about them. So
well, it's good too because we got ATA coming up here in just a little over a month, so we can kind of get the primer out of the way, talk about them, and then for those who happen to go, they can actually see them and shoot them there. So that's going to be good.
Is ATA that close?
Yeah,
I hate to tell you this, but a month and a half from now it will be.
Yeah, it's creeping up quick, and it'll be here before we know it. So
oh my gosh!
So get rid of the crud now, so you can get it again there.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The ATA crud. So you had the big reveal, but we got you here tonight, and you've got some of the bows with you. So we want to talk about hunting bows because it's hunting season. So
yeah, absolutely.
Let's start right at the top. You guys, you've got the Stealth, which you're calling the Mach 1 now. You've kind of did some work on that.
Yep. So with it being the 50th anniversary for us, we kind of brought back some names in the past. Mach 1, the Mach series was always a bow that is people really knew as the PSE name. So we brought back the Mach series just because our 50th anniversary, and we did actually bring all the carbon production in-house this year.
Really?
So we did have a bicycle manufacturer making our carbon risers the last few years. I mean, they've been doing the molded carbon stuff for a long time and really know what they're doing. over the last 3 or 4 years, we've learned a lot about how the actual carbon process works. And then the last year, we actually purchased all the equipment to go ahead and bring all the carbon production in-house. So when we were at the sales meeting, they took us into what they're calling the carbon cave. So it's a climate-controlled small room with a big table on it. They put the carbon on. They go out and cut all the shapes off in it. And it's actually all hand-built. It's all hand-built the entire way through. So there's no machines that do it until the actual carbon is laid on the foam core. So it's a really, really cool process, a lot of attention to detail, and just their quality control on it is second to none with it. So it was a cool process and a cool thing for us to see. And what came out of it was a bow, I think, that's steps ahead of any other carbon boats on the market and way better than anything we've ever produced. So the Mach 1, just like on the original Stealth series and the original Carbon Air, it's all one laid piece of carbon fiber the whole way through. Mm-hmm. The big two changes we did on it this year was we changed the limb angle. So we made the riser just a little bit longer and laid the limbs back a little bit more to give it a more dead in the hand feel, because that's what the consumer has been saying they've been wanting for the last couple of years. So we've done that to get the bow to be, it's 50% more dead in the hand, less vibration than the Stealths in the past. So you guys that have shot the Stealths know there wasn't a ton there. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we've been able to take that down 50%, this thing is pretty unbelievable.
Wow.
And then the other thing we were able to do is take this grip. If you remember, the original Carbon Air had a bridge on it.
Right.
We had a grip that was exactly this size. Then when we went to the bow without the bridge, we had to go to a little bit thicker handle to support the load.
Okay.
Well, with bringing the carbon in-house, what we're able to do is experiment a lot more and figure out where exactly we're needing to lay the carbon to make it structurally sound.
Okay.
So we've been able to bring back basically the exact same grip that was on the original Carbon Air that everyone loved. So those are the two big changes. Lengthen the riser, lay back the limbs, give it a more dead-in-the-hand feel, and give the people the grip they've been wanting.
That's so you can actually say that these things are handmade, so to speak.
Yes. Yep. So it's a really, really neat process, and the amount of hands that touch it. And then at the end of it, the quality control and the machines they put these things in to test the rigidity and structural soundness of the actual riser itself. It's pretty remarkable what they're able to do with that all in Tucson, all at the factory. So it's a really, really cool thing that they've developed there.
And what cams are you going to be getting with the Mach 1?
So the Mach 1's going to come with the regular Evolve cam. So we've stuck with the Evolve cam again this year. Again, this cam has been proven to be the most smooth, most adjustable cam that's on the market right now. So we're sticking with that, getting great speeds out of this thing. You're going to be, our speeds have been listed pretty conservative this year. The ones that we've tested have been around 340, 342, somewhere around there. So like I said, sticking with the Evolve cam that we've had for the last 3 years, just because it is tried and true, the best cam that's actually on the market right now.
You know, and you're coming in at a whopping 3.5 pounds on that thing.
Yeah, and actually, we've actually had a couple people weigh this thing, and they've sent me pictures of their scales with it saying 3.2 and 3.3. So it says 3.5 in the car, but I think most of them are coming in a little bit lighter than that even.
See, and Mike, right here, in no additional charge, you can get an 80-pound bow.
Yeah, I won't be pulling back 80 pounds. I can tell you that right now.
I will tell you, I mean, I haven't ordered a ton of 80-pound bows, but when that email got sent out about the Mach 1 being offered in 80 pounds, within an hour I had 2 orders for them. So,
really? Okay, so people are still pulling that
There
much.
are people that are wanting 80 pounds, so whether they're going out elk hunting or just feeling like they have to pull 80 pounds, they can do it. This cam's smooth enough. I ordered a 70-pound Evo 33 for myself, and after shooting it for about a week, I actually ordered 80-pound limbs for it. So
really, okay.
I've never shot. I have shot 80 pounds once before, back when I was way younger, but I haven't shot over 65 in probably the last 6 or 7 years. And this new bow is smooth enough that I went ahead and ordered 80-pound limbs.
Well, you know, Danny's been eating his Flintstone chewables lately, and we've been working out at the gym. I haven't been eating the Flintstone chewables. I don't think I could pull that much, but I bet you think he could.
That ain't
we could probably put those 80-pound limbs on that Bandit for Danny.
You know, it's short draw. There we go. We're going to be talking about that in just a minute. So there you go. You know what made PSE want to bring this back in-house? Was it just more about quality control and wanting to have their hands in it? Because I know they do pretty much everything in-house, and now they've got the carbon technology there. So
Yeah, with the carbon technology in the past, for us to be able to develop and prototype a handle, that's what we call not just the grip and the riser, we call it the whole thing the handle.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to develop a handle was taking us about 6 months to do it with having somebody else in-house or out-of-house doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to bring that in-house, we're able to prototype and do a whole riser in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
So bringing it in-house is going to make it where we can make bigger and bigger jumps quicker in the technology and make it better and better for the consumer.
You're not at the mercy of your supplier.
Right.
Exactly. It's where actually Pete can actually go to the engineer that's working in the department saying, "What are you doing? This isn't getting done fast enough." So having it in house is going to allow us to do a lot more cool projects with it in the future. So it just gives us a little bit more control of everything and actually speeds the process up of making something new and something cool faster.
Now, colors pretty much the same from last year. Price point pretty much the same as last year.
Yeah, the price point went up $100 on it this year. We are keeping the colors from last year, Mossy Oak and Cuyo Verde. This is actually a new color this year. First Light, we teamed up with them this year. This is actually a fusion pattern. So we've got Mossy Oak, Cuyo Verde, First Light Fusion, and Black.
Okay. And 80-pound limbs for Danny.
Yep. We got 50, 60, 65, 70, and 80-pound limbs.
That was a question. I just saw that here on the spec sheet. Going from 60, 65, and 70, why is that 65 in there? I mean, just out of curiosity.
We get a lot of guys that don't want to pull 70, but want more than 60. So instead of having it where they've got to back down a 70-pound bow, they can actually max out a 65 and be in between the two.
Okay, so that way they can use that cam.
Yep, it's just a really, really popular poundage that people want to shoot, and
okay.
People want to shoot their bows maxed out.
Okay, well, maybe if I eat my Flintstone chewables, I can get the 65. We'll see if we can push it up 5 pounds. What are you shaking your head at?
I'm just listening to you.
Come on. All right. Well, anything else on that we want to cover?
Anything else on the Carbon Air line?
Nope. So we've still got the Carbon Stealth 33 and 35. And we are offering the Carbon Stealth in a short draw version this year as well. That's a 21.5 to 27 inch draw length adjustable bow. So that's got our micro evolved cam.
Okay.
So we can fit draw lengths anywhere from 21.5 inches out to 31.5, 32 inches on the 35. So
that's cool.
It's just a super adjustable platform.
Yeah, that's. You think about getting down to a 21-inch draw. I mean, that's real short. So
yep,
it's covering everything from young adults all the way up to people as old as me and Danny.
Yep,
so
exactly.
So, well, you're looking.
So from there,
Evos.
Before you go to the family of Evos, they've got the Bandit.
Okay.
Yep. Bandit is the next one. NXT stands for
next. So the Evo Next.
Okay.
So the Bandit is something we've been getting a lot of requests for, a higher end short draw bow. You get down below 24, 24.5, 25 inches, your options are a little bit limited. So what we did this year, it kind of actually worked well because it works on our target bows as well, is we basically developed 3 sizes of Evolve cams. We had the regular Evolve cam last year. 2 years ago, we had the small Evolve cam. They didn't think they were able to make it much smaller than that, but Kevin was able to figure out a way to make a micro Evolve cam.
Okay.
So that's this cam here. This is actually the one that's on our new Focus XL.
Okay.
The one that came out back in July. So this cam was on that bow as well. And then this cam on a shorter bow like this 28-inch Bandit will give you draw length ranges from 20 to 26 inches.
Wow.
So the Bandit is a flagship style bow that's going to give people draw length ranges from 20 to 26 inches. And I will tell you, this little micro cam is smoking fast. So we shot a 400 grain arrow at 50 pounds and 26 inches, 240 feet a second.
That's getting it.
Yeah, it's getting up and moving on. And I mean, you're getting the Evolve cams, so you're getting all the bells and whistles, you're getting all the high end stuff, fully forged and machine riser, machine limb pockets. I mean, this is the top of the top flagship bow made for short draw archers.
Danny, they've actually got a bow that's too short for you.
I know, right? I was kind of proud of that moment, and that again, comes in it comes in a draw weight of 40 and 50 pounds. And
yep. I mean, we can build anything. We can do 40, 50, 60. I mean, if we get someone that's really short that needs 80 pound limbs, I'm sure we can do that too. So, but yeah, standard options are going to be 40 and 50 pounds. Color options, you're going to have, this is Mossy Oak Country. We'll do Kuyu Verde and black.
Looking at that, you're talking about the audience that's going to fit. What's that price point going to be? Have they set that yet?
It's going to be the same as all the Evos. It's going to be $10.99 retail. And like I said, you're getting all the bells and whistles that you're getting on our flagship bows. Evolve cams, machine limb pockets. You're getting the new grip. You're getting all the adjustability the Evolve cam has. You can go from anywhere to 65 to 85% let off on this cam. So I mean, this is a high performance, high end short draw bow.
Okay, now, let me go ahead. I'm sorry.
Say we do have other options for the short draw people, but this is one of the requests that we've been getting the last couple of years is where are the high end bows for our short draw archers.
Okay.
So that's a niche we're trying to fill. I don't think we're not going to sell as many units of these as we will one of the other ones, but we want to be able to offer that high end, really, really high end bow to the person that's under 26 inches and under.
Okay. Well, that's one of the things that Pete Shepley in PSE has done is when they're providing something for a wide range of people and draws and everything, and that's something that I think PSE can count on is they'll have something for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the things Pete prides himself with the company. You look at some of the other companies out there that may have a lower end bow under a different name. Pete wants everyone, no matter what income level you have, what your goals are, whatever your pocketbook can afford, he wants you to be able to go out and buy a PSE. He doesn't want you to have to sacrifice and make a purchase of a brand name other than PSE. So that's one of his big goals is to make something that will fit every single person in every single niche that's out there.
Absolutely. Well, I got one more question on this bow before we go to a break here real quick.
Yep.
You talk about that cam that was on the Target lineup this year, that micro. Could this bow be used for those extremely short draw people? Could this be used for a target bow?
One of the first people I actually showed this to was at a dealer event night, and the guy, I showed it to the shop owner. He's like, I got to call this guy and bring his kid down here to let him see it. So he brought his kid down. He was 20.5-inch draw length. He's an extremely accomplished shooter for how young he is. We got it set up where he could pull it back, and he shot it a few times, and he's like, man, this thing is absolutely awesome. So he's actually talking about custom ordering one of these things with an orange riser and white limbs on it for his kid to shoot targets with.
Okay. So that's kind of was my thinking is the fact of the size of people you're looking at, in high performance and using the same cam. To me, it just seemed like it would fit that niche. Yeah,
it does. And for us, being able to have our own finishing stuff in-house, we can build basically anything someone wants.
Right.
And for us to be able to give this kid an orange bow with white limbs because that's what he wants, I mean, you can't ask for a lot more than that.
That's awesome that you can do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we jump into the rest of the lineup, let's take a quick break. We come back, we'll jump into the Evos and talk about them a little bit here. But right now we're going to step outside, take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show, talking with Dan Jasa, one of the sales managers for PSE. Our guy here in Michigan, we love it. And even though he's down in Ohio, we let that slide. But actually, I think you guys are probably, I know you're not an Ohio State fan, but I think you guys are going to have the upper hand this year when it comes to football.
Yeah, the team's doing pretty good this year. Like I said, I'm not a big Ohio State fan. I'm a born and raised Nebraska guy, so I'm a Cornhusker fan. But they ain't got a whole lot to cheer about this year, other than an up and coming team that may need another year or two. So
right,
Yeah, the Ohio State team seems to be doing pretty good this year, but I am by no means a diehard Ohio State fan.
Well, they're looking pretty doggone good, so it's a good bandwagon to jump on if you ask me. And I'm an Alabama fan, and we lost our quarterback, so we're done.
You lost him. You got squashed.
Yeah, he's in the hospital. So.
Speaking of jumping on the bandwagon, Dan in PSE has got a bandwagon of Evos coming next.
Got a whole bunch of them.
Absolutely.
35.
That's quite the segue.
You got it. You know, you think about it, and you've got an Evo next, which is going to be, you're going to have a couple of them, a 33, a 35.
And a 31.
A 31, and a long draw 35.
That won't be for you.
Yeah, I don't think. What's your drawing fantasy? You might be able to shoot it.
No, 27. 27.
He would actually be able to shoot it.
Okay.
At the lowest setting possible.
Well, the 35 though, XX, it might be touching the ground.
Stop it.
Might have to put him on a box. That's Bobby Vargas that said that back at ATA a couple of years ago.
Right. Good old Bobby Vargas. The Evo next.
Yeah, the Evo family of bows. We've got, like I said, 31, which I've got in my hand here, a 33 to 35. Just like on the Mach, the big things we were wanting to do this year is make these bows the most quiet, most dead-in-the-hand bows that PSE's ever built. People have been asking, that's what they want. Transition's kind of been away from the speed game for the last few years, and we've been developing every year a little bit more dead, a little bit more dead, a little bit more dead. And the engineers have done a number this year on these bows, and this is, I think, especially the 33, that's my favorite bow so far this year, has developed maybe the quietest hunting bow PSE's ever produced. Like I said, the big thing this year, we're changing the limb pocket angles and the limbs a little bit, laying those back a little bit more, making them a little bit past parallel. And then one other thing that people have been asking for has been a grip. So a flat back, thin grip is the most repeatable, most accurate grip that's out there. With that being said, some people have not really liked having to have an aluminum handle to hold on to when it gets cold.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did this year is we've purchased a whole bunch of new machinery to do this injection molding to make the grip. So this is actually a removable rubber grip. Underneath this grip is the exact same angle and shape grip that we've had in the past. So if you want a grip for your bow, like say on your Evolve 28s, you can actually take one of these grips and put it on your bow with double-sided tape.
Really?
Yep. So we've got options now for people who maybe have been wrapping their bows with tennis wrap or something like that. You can actually put these on your bows now if you want to have a grip. Now, the nice thing with this grip is it's not rounded in the back. You still have a nice flat back, so you're going to have a repeatable surface to make these bows, even with the grip, the most repeatable, most accurate bow you can get.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few of those bows out there with some tape on it. Somebody we know, I think.
Yeah. He puts tape on it, and it's again, if you didn't notice, but they went out and purchased more equipment. It's good to see that they're not
outsourcing.
Well, not that, just that they're not pulling back because of what's happening. They're moving forward. They're buying new equipment. And this handle thing is awesome, especially if you can change it into different bows, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Any of the Evolves, Evokes, Expedites, all those will fit. That grip will fit right on there.
Right, and again, you get this one anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds, and I see it's going to come in Mossy Country, Verde, First Light Fusion, Realtree Edge, Black and Tan.
Yep. So that's the Realtree Edge. That's one we picked up last year. Kuyu Verde was one we had last year. So that's the Kuyu Verde. And all these will be done in color fusion, so you'll really notice these if you go into the shops and compare a Realtree to another company's Realtree. You'll see the difference in our finish process and how much better it is and how much more durable it is than everyone else's finishes. The color fusion process is absolutely amazing on what it actually does to the bow and the feel of it and how vibrant the colors and everything look on it. So
the difference is night and day on that. It's amazing what that does.
Yeah, you take a Realtree Edge bow and stick it next to another company that's got Realtree Edge. It's not even close.
Right.
There's not another company out there that's doing finishes as well as we are. So this one, that's Kuyu Verde, and then the new one for this year is First Light Fusion. So you saw the First Light Fusion on the carbon bow. Mm-hmm. This looks a little bit different since this is our color fusion process, and the carbon bow is a dip process. So This one will look a little bit lighter. The pattern's a little bit smaller because it doesn't stretch when you dip. When you do a hydrographic and you dip it, the pattern stretches a little bit. When you do the color fusion, it doesn't stretch at all. That's what gives a lot of the color fusion the look that it does. It doesn't stretch the pattern out. So this is the 35 long draw. See a real long riser, real parallel limbs. The 33 and 35, I think, like I said, maybe the quietest hunting bows we've ever produced.
What strings are coming on those?
Those are coming with our Livewire strings. So Pete actually developed this technology a few years ago. I think a human hand touches the strings like 3 times the entire time during the build process. So everything's computer controlled, tensions are controlled, twist rates are controlled. Everything's controlled by computer, so you're not going to have string-to-string inconsistencies like you do with a hand-built set.
So they're going to be it's matched from one to the next to the next to the next. You've got tight tolerances, and they're gonna be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one thing you can say about PSE and their strings is you're confident when you're getting that bow out of the box and you're having your archery shop set it up for you. You can basically put on the bells and whistles you want and go shoot it, and you don't have to worry about other things you need to worry about.
You know, it's funny you say that because I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say what company, I'm not going to say what shop, but I was somewhere recently and that was an issue. It was just putting things on a new bow and it just wasn't jiving. I thought, well, you know, if it had been a PSE, things would have been a lot different. But it was comical because we were all sitting watching. But you know, those things happen, and you guys done your homework.
Pete takes a lot of pride in his strings and the Livewire brand that he's built. So they are actually fantastic strings that come right out of the box. So you don't have to worry about taking those and putting other strings on them right away when you get them.
Absolutely. So that bow we're talking about, that was the 31 that you just showed us, right?
Yep, I had a 31, 33, and 35. So
okay.
That's the 31. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, you got 30.5 inches axle to axle. And what we've also done this year too is basically added a 1/2 inch of brace height to everything across the board just to make these things just a little bit more forgiving.
Okay. So
last year when we had our 31s, it was 6.5 or 6 inches. It's 6.5 this year. The 33 7, the 35 long draws 7 1/8. You do the regular or the small evolved cam, you're going to be 6 7/8. So we've basically just made everything a little bit bigger brace height, give you a little more room for bigger, bulkier clothes, and made these things just a little bit more forgiving.
You know, you talked about the process here lately, been backing off on the speed categories a little bit and getting more to the dead in the hand shot. Opening up the brace heights, laying the limbs back a little bit. Are we keeping speeds pretty much consistent as they have been in the past? Are we losing a little bit, or where are we at on that?
It's going to be a little bit slower, but a lot of that comes down to a little bit more brace height too. So I know we have our listed speeds are pretty conservative this year.
Okay.
I know, like let's say our 31s were listed at 329 IBO. I've actually taken quite a few of these 70-pound bows we sent up to shops right away. Actually set them at 30 inches with a 350 grain arrow and shot them, and I've got anywhere between 338 and 343. So we're extremely conservative this year, and one of the points that our general manager and lead engineer, David Cronigold, wanted us to make this year as a company was there's a lot of other companies out there that are really fluffy numbers.
Okay.
You see it across the board of some of these companies that they're saying, oh, we're going to shoot, our bow's going to IBO at 344, 343, whatever. And when you actually come down to brass tacks and measure stuff, it's not close to that. So I actually took a 70-pound 31, Evo 31, and measured up against 2 other competitors' bows that are right around the same axle, and set them up 30 inches, 70 pounds, shot a 460 grain arrow, and the PSE shot 295. One of the competitors shot 295, and the other one shot 291.
Okay.
And those 2 bows were listed at 13 and 14 feet per second faster than our bow was.
Okay.
So if that tells you anything, we're being conservative on our speed listing numbers, and anything that comes out of our factory, anything that comes out of a PSE box is going to do more at least what it says, if not way more, which most of them are coming out doing way more than what we're saying they're going to do.
There you go.
You know, and that's one of the things, again, getting it out of the box, and everybody has their own concoction of what they want to do, from arrows to broadheads to field points, and it's But you can take this bow and you can customize it with the bow to your arrow, and you're probably going to shoot better than what you see on the card.
Well, I don't think you and I've shot the same setup the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, we've shot different arrows, different broadheads, the whole 9 yards, even though we were shooting the same bows.
Yep.
So
exactly, and that's the thing. And so, you'll get some people that say, well, they got to have speed. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of chuckle, and you still got to hit the target, or else you're just going to miss faster.
Right.
Yeah. We've always, PSE as a company, we've always been proud of our engineering capabilities, and speed has always been something that we've been known for. But the consumer, the market has been asking for smoother and smoother and smoother bows. So instead of taking that technology to try to make faster and faster bows, we're wanting to keep our speeds around where they are and make these bows better and better and better as far as feel and draw cycle and shock and vibration. And it's the direction of what the consumer's wanting. We can preach all day long about why our limb technology, our speed technology, everything else is better. But when the consumer comes down to it, it's what the consumer wants is what we have to produce.
That's right, exactly. And speaking of that, and what about the customer maybe wants to go look at these bows online, where can they go to look at these new bows that you have online?
A website is PSE-archery.com.
So there you go. So you go there and you can check it out, and they got the whole lineup on there. But we're not done. So I think in the next segment, how about we talk about some Core Series bows?
Sounds good. You want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
All right. We're going to step outside, take a break. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show. Still talking archery, talking new bows, talking hunting. Right in the middle of hunting season, but ATA's coming. And 2020 will be here before you know it. But Dan,
it will be.
You said you wanted to talk about some of the Core Series bows. What do you got on there?
Yeah, so the two big main changes this year were the Stinger and the Brute. So like I was saying before, with it being our 50th year, we're wanting to bring back some names in the past that people really know as a PSE name. The Brute was one of them. So what we did, we brought back, it's really, really similar to the Ferocity that we had last year that was a great selling bow for us. It had a 24.5 to 30-inch adjustable draw length, 50% reduction in maximum draw weight. So if you get a 70-pound bow, you can take it down to 35 pounds. Just a super, super adjustable bow. So we brought that bow back and named it the Brute. And the big change we made to it was we made a whole new cam that's got 7.5 inches of draw length adjustment. So it'll go 22.5 all the way out to 30 inches. So it's a super, super adjustable bow, 35.5 pounds to 70 pounds on a 70-pound max, 22.5 to 55 pounds on the 55-pound max with 7.5 inches of draw length adjustment.
And only comes in at 3.5 pounds.
Say that again.
Yes.
22.5 to 30 inches
of draw adjustment.
And then on a 55-pound max will go down to 22.5 pounds.
So you can actually, that bow right there is almost one of those.
Fits almost everybody.
And you can grow into it, right?
Yeah.
It's
you get
25 pounds.
You get someone who's just getting into it. Yeah, you can set them up at 22.5 inches and 22.5 pounds. And then as they grow, as long as they don't get over like 6'1" or maybe 6'2" and grow over 30 inches of draw length, that bow can stay with them forever.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And that comes in, like you said, it comes in 55 and 70. It has the BT cam.
Yep.
And
the new Brute cam.
And comes in two colors, Mossy Oak Country and True Timber Strata.
Yep. That Strata colors are really, really cool patterns. So there's been a lot of people that have really liked that camo pattern this year.
And it's got a decent brace height at 6.5. That way, you got a little bit of comfort feel, and everybody likes that brace height that you're not getting too short.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a really, really good cam for us, a really, really good bow in general. People have seemed to really like it. And again, 3.5 pounds on an aluminum riser bow. It's one of the lightest aluminum riser bows on the market.
I I had a question and it just escaped me. Oh, we were talking about the Pro Line bows. I mean, those are Pro Shop bows, but this Core Series, this is going to be more for your big box retail type store?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have our pro shops that'll carry some of these bows. We're going to talk about the Stinger here in a second. Stinger is one of our best-selling, one of our most known bows is out there. You're going to see the Stingers, you're going to see the Brutes in pro shops as well. Okay. But the Core Series is going to be the major bow that gets carried in the box stores. Yeah. They're not going to be able to have the Pro Series. They're just going to be able to have the Core Series.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. And that's one of the things, again, PSE reaching out, not just they got a series of bows that you can go to the big box stores, and
it'll fit that typical price point too for the big box stores, I'm assuming.
Yep. Yeah. So you're looking at bare bow on a Brute's going to be $499.
Okay.
There you go.
Are they going to offer these like in a field ready package like they have in the past?
They're going to have a package, a regular ready to shoot package, and I believe that's going to be at $599.
Okay.
And it looks like it comes with a sight. Arrow, quiver, whisker biscuit.
It basically comes with everything but arrows and a release.
There you go.
Okay. There you go.
So peep sight, rest, quiver, wrist sling, stabilizer. You buy your arrows, you buy your release, and you're ready to go.
Hey, you know what? And you're off and running. Just a little bit of practice, you can be out in the woods.
There you go.
Yep.
But it could be making a great Christmas gift.
I like that.
And the Stinger is one of our top sellers. So this year, Stinger, we brought back the Mach name. So back in 2012 to 2014, we had Mach in some of the names. So we brought back the Stinger and made it the Stinger Mach this year. The big things we've changed on that is we've reduced the axle to axle by 2 inches, made the shorter limb, and then made a cam that's 80% let off as opposed to 75, just to give a little smoother draw, a little bit nicer feel, and then shortening that bow up, made the vibration and hand shock way less than it was in the past. So it makes it a little bit nicer bow to shoot now.
Right, and that's and my daughter Kelly shoots the Stinger, and so the brace height at 7, and I see again this has the adjustability and comes in at 55 and 70. But in this one, you've got a little bit more color choices with Mossy Oak Country, True Timber Strata. But you can also get black, charcoal, Muddy Girl, purple, and white.
Yep, so we'll have the packages in the standard camos, and I believe in black. The Muddy Girl will have that available in a pro package, but if you want to buy bare bows, we do have some other target colors in the white, purple, so we do have some options there, but most of these bows you're going to see them in the ready to shoot packages. They're going to be $479 for a ready to shoot package. Basically ready to go. All you need you're going to get is arrows and a release.
Are all these bows right-handed or left-handed available?
Yes, they're both available in right and left hand.
Okay, I was just skimming through here. The only thing I don't like is that peep sight that they put on there, the two
peep.
and Kelly had issues with hers. We took it down to Jim, and we got her a regular non-peep sight, and he said, "You finally graduated to a big girl peep sight."
Oh man, I remember when that happened. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was good.
Gonna miss those jokes from Jim for sure. I tell you.
Yep. It's going to be hard not going up and seeing him whenever I come up into Michigan. So he's definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, he always talked about you, man. He loved to talk with you and loved to talk about you and your shooting and all that. I still remember he brought that one target to us and was showing us, and yeah, it doesn't seem like I still can't believe he's gone, but he's just a good man. Just a good man.
When Danny called me and told me when I was on my way home from the sales meeting, it was kind of like that. I didn't even really believe it happened because I just seen him like 2 weeks before.
Right.
And then to find out that he'd passed in the shop was just not good.
Shocking, right? And and a little story about Dan Jasa here, who tends to be a really good shooter. When he pulled this target out, and he showed Mike and I, and he goes, "Dan was just here for a little while, and he went and he said, 'Can I shoot?' And I said, yeah, go ahead." He goes, "I went in the garbage and I found this." And he literally garbage picked Dan's target, which cracked me up right there. But he held that thing, and he was so proud that you shot in his range and shot what you did, which was, again, lights out. But he was so proud of just being able to have you come into the shop and for what you've done for archery, for seeing you on the stages that you perform on, and then Jim also I guess he's more the senior.
Yeah, here on the local level.
You know, it's just amazing what you two guys have done. But he was so proud of that. He goes, "I'm going to hang this up."
He's going to be missed, man. I tell you that.
Yep, it was a shame. It seemed like he just got everything in his shop just the way he wanted to. He was all excited about being able to shoot again, and just goes to show you, you never know when tomorrow's not going to come.
No, man, you just got to make the most of every day, you know, and take advantage of the time you got.
And Jason Pfister just pointed this out, but they had Kings of Archery, right, today?
Yep, they did. PSE did a fantastic job today. So Kings of Archery is getting to be basically like the European Vegas shoot. So you shoot a 900, you make it to the shoot off, and then it's a last man standing shoot. And PSE took 2 of the top 3 spots in the Kings of Archery. So Stefan Hansen ended up winning the whole thing. So he shot 90 arrows of qualification, dropped 1 Super X, and then through the entire shoot up, which was another 9 ends, he only dropped 1 other Super X. So almost 120 arrows, he dropped 2 Super X's.
Gosh.
I wish he would show up at ATA.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
I'd like to meet this guy because I'd just like to take him over to the booth and could you just shoot?
You're right.
It's bad enough I watched Dan.
Right.
He's like,
so he ended up finishing first, and then Dave Cousins ended up finishing third, which Dave is a new acquisition for us. He's been around for a long, long time. I think this is his 25th year as a full-time touring professional archer. And he left his previous employer, really, really wanted to come to us. I think it's been a couple years in the making. And just the fit between him and what he's done in his career and PSE and what we've done over the 50 years that we've been in business, it just seemed like a great match between us. Dave and I have been friends for quite a few years, and I'm extremely, extremely excited to have him as part of Team PSE. And I think he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge. I know the engineers are going to be happy to be working with him. And I think he's going to bring a lot of really, really cool ideas to our company to help us advance for the next 50 years as well.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. I tell you what, let's take a quick break. We come back, we'll finish out the show. Speaking, we've been talking a little bit about target archery here.
And I got some questions for Dan.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll step outside and we'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at PSEArchery.com.
Welcome back. Last segment of the show. You know, we've been talking a little bit about target archery and everything here towards the end of that last segment. The focus that came out, you know, middle of the season. I know here in Michigan, you're talking about that mini cam on that, the micro.
Evolve Micro. Yep.
Yeah, the Evolve. Everybody here is raving over this bow. I mean, I think we need to talk about that just a little bit and about what it's doing for PSE.
Yeah, I mean, we came out with the original focus, would have been last summer. Mm-hmm. It kind of set the industry kind of on its ear as far as the geometry goes. If you look at what a lot of companies have been doing, they've been going more towards the feel side of bows, making risers longer, making limbs shorter, laying them back and making more parallel. And for us, that can make some shooters better. But if you look at like the most winning geometries in target bow history, mm-hmm. It's been a straight or deflexed handle with a forward-facing limb pocket that's going to put all the pressure towards the target. So we went back to an old school geometry and made the first deflex riser that's been made in a while. And the focus just kind of, like I said, set the target bow world on its ear. And then this year we came out with the XL version, so a 40-inch version of it. So we're giving people with a little longer draw lengths the opportunity to shoot this bow as well.
Yeah, it's from what I've heard. I mean, we were talking about Jim Beasley in the last segment. That bow lit the shop up. Everybody over there was ordering those things. I think he said he sold 8 of them like within a month. Everybody was wanting them.
He got a sample in. We got one to him right away, and I think he sold 7 or 8 of them right away. I mean, like immediately. I mean, we're taking people from other companies and shooting them. It's just, and you look at what's happened. We had 3 shooters that made the finals at the Kings of Archery, and 2 of them were in the top 3, all shooting the Focus XL.
Yeah, there you go. That says it all right there.
And what's cool about that is it comes in an American flag version.
I love that thing. That paint scheme is incredible.
Yeah, we got a lot of really cool colors, and being able to do the color fusion stuff. We've had the Good Vibrations, which you guys have seen. That's the bow I was shooting all summer. Mm-hmm. The American flag pattern. Then we've got our regular anodized colors as well.
So what's next for PS? I mean, you talk about 50 years. I didn't realize that this was their 50-year anniversary. I've kind of had my head in the sand here for all during hunting season and everything. But where are we looking at the future? I mean, does it get to a point where you can't go any further? I mean, every year we keep saying it just keeps getting better and better and better.
No, I mean, you look at the way bows have gone the last 15 years, and we had a great big huge jump in technology, which a lot of it was driven by PSE. Mm-hmm. You go and look at a lot of companies that were starting early 90s, late 90s, whatever, and look at what they were doing, look at what they were preaching. You're looking at what they said was going to be the best bows, and then you look at them today. Mm-hmm. You see what influence PSE has had on this industry over the last 50 years. You don't see hardly any single limb bows anymore. They're all split limbs.
Right.
Something that we've been doing for a long time when we pioneered X-Force technology. So I mean, we have been the innovators and the leaders in the industry, and people have been following us, using our ideas and doing stuff that we've been doing for a long time to make themselves better.
And that goes to show you Pete Shepley being in the industry as long as he has, in the industry, shooting probably a lot longer, but just the whole, where he's taken this company and where he's gone with it. And to this day, he'll still talk about, he opened up the new archery, I guess the range there.
The complex.
Yep. The complex. Yeah. But the way he talks, and Dan, I know the last couple of years, people saying the archery industry is going downward. Are we starting to see maybe the younger generation start to pick up the slack and maybe some newbies coming in, even older newbies picking up the bow and saying, hey, why not? Or, I know Pete pushes and he wants people to do archery all the time.
Pete is passionate about archery in general. He wants more people to be shooting bows and arrows. That's one of the reasons he opened up the Pete Shepley Archery Centers. He wants to give people the opportunity to be able to shoot bows no matter what the temperature is outside, whether it's raining, whether it's 110 degrees. He wants them to be able to come into Pete Shepley Archery Center and pick up a bow and arrow set and shoot it whenever they want. And that's one of the things that's driven us as a company is Pete's passion for archery. If you look at any of the other archery companies that are out there, how many of their president and CEOs are on the line in Vegas shooting every year? How many people who are designing bows for these other companies are out in the field hunting and taking animals every year? Pete's there. He's doing it every year. His passion for the sport, his passion for the industry comes out. And just when you see him at these shoots or out hunting or whatever, he loves archery and wants to do anything he can to get more people shooting bows and arrows.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And we interviewed him last year at ATA, and you could just tell his passion for it in his voice and the way he talked about it. And is that catchy for you guys, for the staff, when you go to the PSE the office there and he walks in and I'm assuming he addresses the crowd, and do you get that in inspirational speak?
I wouldn't say talking to Pete he does have an inspirational speak, but yes, we do have, we get his passion whenever he speaks to us about our bows and arrows and how great they are. We make the best bows and arrows in the industry, and he is dead set on that is what we need to go out and sell. you look at everybody else's stuff, and it can't be compared to ours.
Something you said there, and Danny and I have talked about this just a little bit. I mean, we're talking about bows, and we've talked about bows a lot over the past, I don't know how many years we've been working with PSE, but you said arrows, bows and arrows.
Mm-hmm.
They make arrows as well. I mean, and that's something that's, I don't know if it's widely known, but, just touch on that just a little bit about what they've got available.
Yeah, so I can't remember when they started, but we've got a radial X-weave arrow. So it's a cross-weave arrow. It's not a regular mandrel rolled arrow. They're called the HD Hunters. Then we also have a regular mandrel rolled arrow, anywhere from a 166 inner diameter up to a 246 inner diameter. So, yeah, we do have arrows. They're great, straight arrows, mainly made for hunting. We don't make the bigger target shafts, but, yeah, we do have great arrows as well.
You used to, because I got a dozen.
Yeah,
of the target arrows.
We used to have those. Yep, not anymore though. They're all mainly for hunting though.
Exactly. And again, asking Jim, I said, "Where'd these come from?" Oh, I had them. I'm like, all right, but that's not. We talked about bows, we talked about arrows, but also they have another company, Black Mountain.
Yep. Yeah. So we've got our whole line of accessories. We've got quivers. We've got sights. We've got arrow rests, wrist slings. I mean, that's one of the nice things for our dealers is we have basically everything under the sun that someone's going to need for archery to be able to get as a dealer for PSE. We've got crossbows. We've got recurve arrows. We've got fletchings. We've got string. Everything you need you can get from PSE.
Yeah, just like you can fit just about any geometry of people out there, any size. You got a bow to fit them. You've also got all the equipment to go with it.
Exactly.
So,
speaking of bows, question I had, and I've been kind of looking through the website here, looking at the new bows, and I always wondered if this comes up, and I'm sure this is a Pete Shepley call, but does he ever look at the bow itself? And I know they're engineered to do what they need to do, but is there a part of him that says, no, that doesn't look good?
I don't think that's in Pete's vocabulary.
Okay, because the reason I'm kind of associated with like a car, right?
The styling.
Right. I've seen in our studio where I work that I've seen cars and go, uh-oh. And I just wondered if, Pete does like the same thing when they say, hey, Pete, we've got this new whatever. And he looks at it and goes, no.
I'm sure SZX plays some into some of the design stuff as well. So I'm sure there's been times in the past where the engineers come up with something and said, hey, look at this. And he said, no.
But I got to assume, too, that it's more about functionality. I mean, it's got to work and improve on things.
It's got to look good, too.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, well, we've kind of covered everything PSE. We've covered the new bows. Even talked a little target archery. What's on Dan Jasa's horizon here coming up? The holidays are coming up. Are you going to get out in the woods?
He's going to work.
Are you going to work?
The biggest thing that's coming up is going to be plugging my phone in because I just got a 10% low power warning.
Okay,
there you go.
So he's saying we got to hurry up and wrap up.
So no, I've got to finish up this fourth quarter. I'm going to be in Indiana and Illinois next couple of weeks in the middle of Thanksgiving stuff. So I'm going to be on the road and maybe sneak in a Sunday hunt or two in the next couple of weeks. But other than that, it's just going to be on the road. Spreading the PSE love to all of our dealers and maybe getting a little shooting in and just getting out there and telling people how great these PSE bows are and letting them shoot it and see for themselves.
Absolutely. And if people that are listening to the show or out there and they want to go online, they can go to PSEarchery.com and check out the new bows. And then they can also, in case they don't know where to go, they can locate a dealer right on the website, closest dealer. They might not even know that dealer's been around. So
absolutely, we've heard that a lot about the shop that we used to shoot out of before Jim's passing. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know there's a shop there."
Right, exactly.
So
dealer locator's a great thing.
Well, anything on the target scene next year new for you, or going to pretty much continue with what you've been doing?
If there is anything on the scene, I'm not going to be able to tell you now.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you're probably down to about 8% now. So
yeah, it's probably 6.
Okay. Well, we're going to let you go. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Appreciate you taking some time out. Have a good Thanksgiving. Have a great Christmas. And if we don't see you here in December in Michigan, then we'll see you at ATA.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
Hey, you too.
Thanks.
You take care now. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right.
I tell you what, there it is in a nutshell about PSE. And we talked about everything from bows to arrows to accessories. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is the owner cares.
Absolutely.
The owner cares enough to go out and buy more technology, whether it be the carbon or just a simple handle, because people were asking
about it. Yeah. Yep. Following the lead from the consumers.
And there is a ton of and people. You say, "Oh well, you guys, Dan and Mike, PSE, blah blah blah." You know what? Go out there. It's like a car.
Yep.
Shoot it, try it, and shoot what's best for you.
Yep.
Whether it feels, whatever.
Yep. We've had several people that we know personally that once we got them in their hands, they're like, "God, you're right." It's like, well, we told you, you just need to shoot it. You need to shoot it. So.
Right. Exactly. And not just shoot it, but my brother's on and he was telling me a little bit of a story. I don't know the entire story yet, but he just says when you're going to shoot, whether it be hunting, target archery, make sure to check your bows. He had a guy at his camp miss a big buck. His cable guard broke. So he's saying inspect your bow.
When I was down in Indiana, I stayed down there with some of the guys and hung around there at the archery range. And they had a bow come in that did that same thing. The cable slide actually broke on a bow, and it cost the guy $1.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not, it's one of those things. You never know when things can go wrong.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help to take a quick peek, whether it be your strings, your peep sight, your rest.
How many times we throw our gear all together, we get out, we are in the dark, we hike out to the stand, get in the stand, and then then it gets daylight. You just take that time to run through some of the things. Even when you're in the stand, and you've done that, when it gets daylight, look at everything, make sure everything's right.
Absolutely. So. And you know what? So there it is for 2020 upcoming. Man, 2020 already.
Right.
So we'll be happy to take a look at those bows.
We're less than a month and a half away from the new year.
I know, right?
Wow.
But for the people out there, it is gun season here in Michigan.
Yep.
We had Dan on tonight in PSE. We're going to have another, with nothing happening, another interview next week. So we're thinking December 1st show, we're going to have like a deer hunter rifle wrap up. We'll get Ken on, and we'll talk about our seasons. So that way we can just kind of all put it into a nutshell how the gun season went, because we really still got 2 weeks left.
Yeah. Are you going to get back out?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same for me. It's very unlikely. You never know. But we've got the elk hunt coming up.
When is that?
That will be out of town the 13th. I got to be at orientation on the 13th.
Okay.
So it starts the morning of the 14th. And if everything works correctly, and I'm lucky enough to score on the first or second day, I'm going to have my muzzleloader with me, and I'm going to go back and see if I can't fill a tag.
Oh, there you go.
At
that is cool.
For muzzleloader season.
And that it's your lottery. Mm-hmm. So, but then that'll be December, and then we're going to get right into Christmas. So I think we'll get some people on. Maybe some of our sponsors come up with some Christmas gift ideas for everybody to talk about.
Right.
This day and age, we can get it shipped pretty quickly. I know Rob, he scored $1, so we'll have him on. We'll talk about Rebel 6. Maybe we'll get Buck Bates on.
Get Dustin over in West Virginia.
Get Mr. Whirlybird on. Talk about what you can put underneath the tree.
Yeah.
And so, got a lot of things coming, and we're getting towards the end of the year real fast.
Yeah. Will. So that December 1st show, if everything goes good, we'll wrap that up. Next week, if everything goes well, we're going to talk to somebody who did a do-it-yourself antelope hunt.
Right. And
so we're going to try. So we're going to try to make that happen if we can get everything lined up for that.
I don't know if I'll be able to get out, but one of us has got to get some venison, because Tim Andrews is expecting us to provide some at the ATA.
I think it ought to be you, because you're the one that
No, he started it.
Well, you answered. So
I did.
Yeah.
We actually got some, and I got some still in the freezer, so we might be able to make some. We're definitely going to take some down, and we're going to definitely share it with those guys.
So you're saying we need to make a batch up?
I got to look and see how much hamburger I got.
I got some left over. Yeah.
We can definitely make a new batch for the ATA.
Maybe we'll do a live show of that in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll do it for the holidays.
Yeah, why not?
Why not have some summer sausage or hunter sticks with some pepper jack cheese or something?
Something.
Right.
Yeah.
So
holidays are here.
It's fast and furious now.
Man, we're 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today
will be December 1st.
Yep.
So firearm season will be over. So there's only 13 days left of firearm deer season. Man,
right.
This year is flying by. So
exactly. So
All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead. We'll wrap up the podcast portion of the show. That'll do it for us this week, folks. And like I said, next week, if everything goes well, we'll be talking a little antelope hunting. That's something that I don't know anything about. I've seen them when I was out west years ago, almost a little over 11 years ago. So
nice.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that if we can get that interview lined up and everything goes well. And we'll be back again next week. Y'all take care. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Spot Shooters Archery,
Easy Cut,
Packer Max,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Scent Lock,
Scent Blocker,
Lim Walker Game Calls,
Buck Baits,
Gut Check,
Stanislavski Release Aids,
Copper John,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Vapor Hunting Products,
and Rebel 6 Rubs.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.